So it's that time of year when a lot of people reach out and ask, what can they do to get better for next season? And for a lot of us, we want to hit the ball farther, we want to hit the ball straighter, and we want to use our ground reaction forces to help us do that with ease. However, for a lot of us, we tend to use the ground reaction forces late. And what we're going to look at in this video is how we use our right arm during the backswing to make sure we get ourselves in a great position to use those ground reaction forces. So one thing that makes golf a little bit confusing is that the golf club that we use to play golf with doesn't weigh very much. And because it doesn't weigh very much, we can kind of move our arms and our body in a lot of different ways because it doesn't take much strength or effort to hold this club up at the top of my swing. So what happens if we actually were to swing something that was a little bit heavier? Well, then we would realize that our right arm has a very important job in the golf swing. And our right arm is here to support the weight of the golf club. And that's really what we want our right arm doing, is creating support at the top of the swing. So one of the biggest things that we see with a lot of golfers is that they tend to get their right elbow into a pretty disadvantaged position at the top of their swing. And I think a lot of times it's because we don't really understand how to move the arms together or how to get the right arm into support. So let's take a look at this real quick. So if we kind of go from down the line, one of the things that you hear a lot is, what should the golf club kind of look like at the top of our swing? And when we're swinging the club to the top, one of the things we want to do is we want to get this golf club to where it's very light and very easy to hang on to. So it's not taking a whole lot of effort for me to hold this, and I feel like I could hold this for a long period of time. But what we also tend to see is that there's a lot of golfers out there who will take the golf club back with the club more across the line like this, and now the club feels very heavy at the top and my elbow is more behind my body, versus people that take the club more around their body, and now this once again feels very, very heavy, and it feels like I'm not going to be able to hold this for nearly as long. So getting the golf club to feel light at the top of our swing is really the key to getting the right arm into the correct position. So we're going to look at how we can add a very simple drill to this to help get this right arm into a better position, and talk about how that's going to help us create more torque within the body as well. So for a lot of golfers out there, they don't always hold the golf club the same way with their right hand. And some golfers will tend to have their right hand a little bit more on top of the club, and what Mike Adams would describe as a side cover style grip. There's golfers who have their grip a little bit stronger to where we would be more underneath, to use Mr. Adams' language once again. And then we also can have more of a neutral right hand. So it doesn't really matter how we hold the golf club within the right hand. That's not what we're really focusing on here. What we want to focus on is just trying to get our hand on the weight here. And if you feel a little better this way or a little better this way, that's totally fine. That's a preference. And I don't mind how you kind of orientate your wrist there. That's totally fine. But what we want to do is we just want to take this weight and we just want to move it with one swing up to the top. And we want to feel like our right arm is supporting this weight. Now, one thing that's really cool about this is that when I move that weight and I hold it and I get it to where it feels light, I can very easily pick up my left foot. So it's obvious that it's very easy to load my pressure into my trail side when I get this into the correct position. Now, if I take this elbow and I try to move it more behind my body, this way, like we said, we see a lot of golfers struggling trying to find depth in the backswing. And when we go this way, now it's very hard for me to pick up my left side, and I can't really hold it nearly as long. It's pretty difficult for me to do. Same thing would be true if I moved it more away from me. We see a lot of golfers doing this as well. And if I move it out that way, A, I can't really hold it, and two, picking up that left leg becomes really difficult once again. So moving the weight into a position to where we feel like the weight becomes light because the body is bracing well, not only gets me into the correct position with my trail arm, but also allows me to load that pressure much easier into my trail side. So now that we've added the simple weight drill and we've gotten a good feel for getting our right arm into a position to where it can support the club, now we want to go ahead and try to hit some balls and see how this works for us. So we're going to go ahead and take our normal grip. Like I said, the right hand can be all the way from a little more on top to a little more underneath. That is your preference. It's not something that I'm going to worry about here in this video. But what we want to do is we want to make sure that we feel that we're getting this golf club nice and light with that right arm at the top, and it's easy for me to pick up that left foot. So when we do this, hey, nothing too crazy, just really feeling like I'm getting that right arm up underneath the golf club. Now, when we're looking at this on video and kind of dictating how we're doing, are we doing good with this? Are we not doing so well with this? What look do we want to see in the camera? What we're going to look for in this down the line position is that when I get this to the top of my swing, I want to see that my right arm is underneath the golf club, and I want to see that my left arm is outside the golf club or higher. And now that allows for me to create a nice stable face down through transition into release and into impact. So we're really able to create a lot of nice things by getting the right arm to behave in the backswing. And quite simply, once again, we're just trying to get the right arm to where it's supporting the weight of the golf club, so that now there's somewhere for this club to drop. Because if I don't get support of the golf club and the golf club's out of position, now I'm going to have to try to reroute the club, which is going to create a lot of inconsistencies within the club face. So make sure we're getting that right arm in a position of support, and then it's much easier to shallow the golf club in the transition into the downswing. So we hope you found this video helpful. If you have any questions or comments about how to create better arm structure or how to get the golf club feeling light at the top of your swing, let us know in the comment section, and we'll be sure to let you know and give you some feedback as soon as possible. So thanks so much, make sure to subscribe, and until next time, keep grinding.